Hey, what's happening, guys? I got a pack in the mail. It's over here. This stuff right here. Before I show it to you, I mean, you already know what it is. So why am I being an idiot, right? Yeah, never mind. When I get something like this, this really brings back feelings of being a kid and getting my first Radio Shack. What was it? 201 electronics kit where it had the board, had all the springs, and you put the wires and you hook it all together, and oh, I love those. So when Elecrow got a hold of me and said, would I like to review this Raspberry Pi Pico Advanced kit, I'm like, heck yeah. Because to me, this is what an electronics hobby is about. Just stuff and ideas. So this kit from Elecrow is available from them. It's $36. And let's see everything that's in here. Let's just dump it all out, right? Oh yeah. There we go. So let's start with what we got, and then we'll put it back in the box. First up, solderless breadboard times two. Two brand new breadboards, which is good. Let's see, I have one sitting around here. I don't have one sitting here, but mine are well used. This is a keypad matrix. Of course, have the ubiquitous USB cable that we need to program. This is a micro USB. These are the parts to build a smart car. A little screwdriver, and yeah, got a flathead and a Phillips. These are actually not bad. All right, let me get my trash can out underneath me here, and we'll start opening these guys up and going through these components. All right, first of all, we have a joystick module. This needs ground 5 volts. Then you have X, Y, and switch. So you can have your own joystick. Those are very cool. This looks like a 16 by 2 LCD screen. It is. But it is a 16 by 2 LCD screen with this little backpack on the back. And as you see, SDA and SDL. This is an I2C one. So instead of having to connect up 16 things, you give it power, ground, and 2 signals. Here's our Raspberry Pi Pico. So let's just go over this for a second. The Raspberry Pi Pico uses this chip, the RP2040. And this is more akin to an Arduino than it is to a Raspberry Pi. Whereas a Raspberry Pi is basically a single board computer, this guy here is a microcontroller. It is in fact the RP2040 is a dual-core 32-bit ARM Cortex M0 Plus with 264 kilobytes of SRAM, 48 megahertz clock with a maximum of 133 megahertz, which is very cool. A USB 1-to-1 host and device, which means you can use this as like a HID device, an external controller. It has a programmable LED on it. There's a boot selection button here. It's got 2 megabytes of quad SPI flash, 0.1 pad spacing, and SMT friendly castellated edges, as you can kind of see there if it will focus. There we go. So yeah, these are really cool, and for some reason right now there is an incredible Raspberry Pi shortage. Like Raspberry Pis that you used to be able to get for like a W for less than $20 for like $80, and Pi 4s are like stupid expensive, like a couple $100. That's just like insane, man. All right, let's see what else we got here. We've got male to female DuPont connectors. see how long these guys are. From tip to tip, they are about 8 1/4 inches. Or, for those of you who prefer a base 10 system as opposed to something random, we're looking at 20.5 centimeters. These are male-to-male DuPonts, which are very useful for breadboards, and they're what, like 3 inches long? So I can find one here. Well, that was a very long one. Here, okay, here's a short one. So the short ones are about 10 centimeters, or what's that? A little over 4 inches. And there's some long ones in there as well. All right, what do we got next? Oh. SR, is this a... This little IR thing? Yep, that is an IR sensor. And this white plastic here is, it's just a diffusion dome. Next. I'm going to cough, pardon me. Okay, in this pack here, we have an infrared remote, infrared receiver, infrared LED, and female to female DuPont wire. Good for doing, you know, your IR projects. In here we have a soil moisture sensor with a Grove type connector on it. Oh, it's capacitive too, very nice. That's thin. That's not a 1.6 millimeter board. Yeah, look at that. Look at the difference in thickness between those two. Let me see if we can get some more light here on this subject. Sorry about that. Bumped the camera. So look how that one is. Look at that one. We can actually measure those. Get the caliper out here. Zero it out. Put it in millimeter mode. So this PCB is 0.89 millimeters, whereas a standard one is more along the lines of like 0.99. Really? This thing in inches and I don't know about it. No, it's in millimeters. 1.08, okay. I guess they're both thinner than normal. Because, like, let's see, unless I'm completely off base here, no. Here's a regular circuit board. Yeah, 1.6. So that's interesting that they're both thin. Here's a standard FR4. Well, they made that one thinner for some reason. Can't say I agree with that. I want my microcontroller to be, you know, a pretty thick board. It's going to take a lot of plugging and unplugging. Who's next? What we got here? Oh, this is a motor controller. Whoops. Very interesting. You can see it says motor A. Did I not put the light on? There we go. Motor A, motor B. You can see our controls there. B1A, 2A ground, VCC, A1B, A1A. Neat. I am unfamiliar with this module, so that will take a little bit of investigating to figure out what's going on. All right, here we have RFID stuff. Here's our reader. Very nicely done on a proper thick circuit board. Maybe 1.5. That one's thin as well. I guess they're all thin. Then we have an access card, an access key fob, and a couple of 90-degree header pins. Guys, we haven't even got into the big bag of stuff yet. That's how much good stuff is here for $36. Even if you're not into the Raspberry Pi, this stuff will work with Pis, Arduinos, whatever. It's all good. The component cost alone is worth 36 bucks here. Oh, kind of blew that one there, didn't you, Elecrow? Look at that. That dog ain't gonna hunt. We'll fix it, no worries. All right, I tried to reflow those pins and it was no good. Take a look here. Let's zoom in. There's no metal there. I tell you one thing, PCBWay didn't make that board, because if they did, there would be metal there. All right, let's have a look here and see how we can't repair this guy. Okay, all repaired. As you can see, I just had to solder it to the first of the tracks, no problem. But Elecrow, you might want to look at that in the future in your manufacture of these devices. Also, it comes with, come on. I'm just going to put these together so I don't lose them. Basically a little instrumentation amplifier, a little op amp with a variable gain there. So, there we go. Put my soldering gear away. We don't need that anymore. Don't need that. Don't need that. All right. Let's get into the big bag. All right. Anything laying out? Yes. Little motor. And of course that they usually come with something to use, so it comes with a fan. A little tiny breadboard, those can be useful. This is a 12 by 12 switch with a red keycap. RGB LED module. This is a line following module for a smart car. This is a buzzer and some LEDs. There's a reed switch and its magnet. We'll take a look at that one. So there is our reed switch module. That's the reed switch. And there's a neodymium magnet that will trigger it. And I'm just going to store it right where they put it there. Oh! And put it back in the bag. Oh, limit switch. Okay. It's just a little micro switch there. When something touches it, it triggers the switch. Laser. Another infrared. That's interesting. There are two infrareds in there. DHT11 temperature and barometric pressure sensor, or a temperature and humidity sensor. This is a flame sensor. It reacts to the infrared and ultraviolet from flame, and will set off an alarm or whatever you need. This is an I2C like 0.98 inch OLED module. This is a rotary encoder. Microphone module. This isn't an amplifier or anything. This just, you set the level of sound at which you want it to signal and set an alarm off, basically. This is a tilt switch. This is an ultrasonic distance finder. One of these sends out a pulse, the other returns the pulse and measures the time of flight. Another limit switch. 9-gram servo with servo arms. Oh, I like this little stoplight module. Very nice. And it has built-in resistors. Let's check it out. 1 second. I got 5 volts going in here. Green, yellow, red. Very cool. This is a nice module. This would be great for somebody who's starting programming with, you know, microcontrollers to learn about a state machine and things along those lines. Now this says it is a rotation sensor. Rotation sensor. It's a potentiometer. Another line follower. This is a 7-segment by 4-digit display. Clock, data, VCC, ground. Has a shift register there. Man, very nice. This is a nice module. And finally, we have a light activated resistor here. You pair this with another resistor, you turn things off when it gets dark, or turn them on when it gets light, you know, whatever you want to do. I thought maybe we could come over here and take a look at it on their site. This is Elecrow, elecrow.com/raspberry-pico, pi-pico dash look down below in the description for a link. So this is the Elecrow Raspberry Pi Pico Advanced Kit with 32 modules and 32 project lessons. Oh, you can also order it without the Pi, $36.09, and with it. So the kit I got is actually $41. Still not a bad price. Showing you, everything you get with it. Little video, components of the Pi. Here's a map of all the GPIO pins. Here's the projects with this kit. Colorful light, electronic clock, billboard, colorful flowing light, plant doctor, alarm of fire alarm, yes. Obstacle avoidance car. See, there's those line following sensors I was telling you about right there. Traffic light module. List of everything in there. But what I'm trying to find is where do you find the projects? Details, reviews. There are no reviews. 32 projects. There's no book. There's no link to anything. Manual lessons and external. Oh, there it is. User tutorial. So you have to come on here and find your PDF. You know what? I will put a link to this down below so that you don't have to find it and you can just click on the link. I think that makes more sense. You see, I'm so last century, I don't even know that that's where you get your projects from. But I will still put a link down below. So for 41 bucks, you get a Raspberry Pi Pico, which may or may not be in high demand at the time that this video goes out. And you get a really nice sensor kit that you can use with the Raspberry Pi Pico, the Raspberry Pi, any Arduino, ESP32. This is a good deal no matter how you look at it. So I want to thank Elecrow for sending it out. I want to thank you for watching. That's it. I'm out. Peace.